The shop is full. If you haven't checked them out yet, Accelerated Autos has just started posting videos. He just tore this Evo motor down. He's rebuilding the whole thing. I'm going to be going through it. So when we took it apart, crank, bearings, everything looked good, so that's good. The head looks pretty good. He's looking for parts. That's going to be going back together soon. Check him out, Accelerated Autos on YouTube. He's working on this wide body Evo. Found this thing sitting in a field for 2 years, picked it up for $2,000. It's a full car, wide body, came with these 11-inch XXRs on it, cambered, all these good parts. Putting stock struts on the rear right now so we can move it around. Whoever had it before took the struts out of it. It was just sitting down on the tires. So we're trying to make that movable. This thing here, we decided I'm just going to pull the engine. We got to pull the engine anyway. And I might try to rebuild it. It starts, it runs, we know the head's good. It'll have new chains on it, new bearings. Hopefully it runs when I'm done. But that's the plan. We're gonna start pulling this engine next week. I'll film it and we'll see if I can get away with an engine build. Till I start that, what we're doing today is I'm working on this 1JZ, swapping it into an FRS or a GT86, whichever you want to call it. I just built the transmission mount. Basically, it's nothing special. You just got it bolted up there. I had to weld 3-tier. The old one came straight across and this transmission was a lot lower, and it's very close to this, and I don't want any noises or any rubbing. It also brings the shifter up into the car more. It's mounted, it's bolted, it's nice and centered in the hole. I'm happy with that. So we pulled the fuel rail off of it. You can see it was I don't want a new engine and then have just dirty intake all over it. We are installing this radium fuel rail here. It comes with all these cool things. I'm guessing for the injectors, I don't know. Got to figure out how to put that on, but we painted that spacer. That's in the paint booth. Here's that spacer. It's gonna look good. It's gonna dry satin, so can't wait to see what it's gonna look like. But it's gonna look good with that black intake, the black fuel rail, and it'll have some green parts. I think the injectors have a certain color. I'll have to go look, but that's gonna look a lot cleaner. I'm hoping we don't have like 15 different colors going on. So there's my connectors. No, nice. So these are just black. Looks like they're gonna look good. Should go right in the rail. These things are sweet, made by Bosch. Trying to get it in. Now I gotta wait for the paint dry so we can start putting this together. This here though, these ends do not look the same. Maybe they just go down in here, and yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out because obviously these sit down in those holes on that intake. I'll have to look into that, watch code videos, I don't know, but we're getting it together. I'm glad we're finally putting parts on the engine. I've been putting so much time into the shifter. The shifter wasn't right and it wouldn't shift. Now we've got shifting. Feels good. I'm happy with that. Shifter's up in the hole good. It fits. It's right in the center of the hole. We're good to go on that. So I had to pull the engine out. I had to take the shifter assembly apart, finagle with that, cut and weld the linkage inside the transmission to make it work with that tripod that I bought from a R154 transmission. So now that works. And then it was getting the engine back in with a new transmission brace because the one that we had wasn't going to cut it. It was real light aluminum. It just wasn't going to work. And then another thing holding me back, you can see this firewall here. My heater core lines pop out here, and I am so close to the back. I had to cut those lines back, buy some hoses with a sharp 90. But you can see now we've got room to play. These lines aren't too tight, so now we can actually run the heater and defrost, because in Michigan you get, you know, to about October and your windows will fog up when you drive in the morning, so you got to have heat. And basically I'm trying to figure all this out. I've got this sensor here thing, I don't know what that goes to. Maybe that's the turbo drain. I've got this one here, that's dipstick, and then I've got something here I've got to figure out. And then this week I got to figure out this line. It goes from here down to the slave cylinder down there. So short line, intake's going on tomorrow, fuel rail's going on. I did weld up the exhaust manifold for the wastegate. It had a square mount for the wastegate, so I cut that, shaved it, and I welded a V-band on there. So that's gonna look good. We got the titanium studs. It should look pretty darn good. Here's our manifold. So like I said, this had a square flange for, I have no idea what wastegate it even hooked up to, but it wasn't gonna work with ours. So I cut it, shaved it round, and then this was my first time TIG welding stainless. I wouldn't say it went wonderful, but it's gonna hold. That's a good weld. It penetrated well. I'm happy with it. Now this tile 44mm wastegate, it's gonna go right on there. Shabam, we're good there. So we've got the sides of our engine ready to go on, and then we've got, let's see here. And then we've got this. This is our Wiring Specialties harness we had made up. It's 1JZgte, the GT86. It taps into CAN bus and everything. This thing should allow everything, including the dash, to work as if it came with a 1J from the factory. So I'm excited about using this. I have no clue what the heck I'm doing or how, but it's got all the plugs on it. Should be plug and play. It also plugs right into our ECU. So we've got this ECU Masters EMU Black ECU. I had them go ahead and just put the ends on there. Even though this came with ends, it saves me from having to wire it up. That's a good thing. The less stuff I can mess up, the better. But yeah, plugging away on this thing. I wanted to have it done a lot earlier in the summer, but we just got slammed, got so busy. And you know, we started buying these flip cars that need engines and all this stuff, and that's been great. We've actually made a lot more money, and I've learned that a simple engine swap is extremely easy. So now, you know, I've never taken an engine down all the way to the crank, so we're gonna do that with the VR6. Hopefully I can rebuild it. Hopefully we can at least find the bad bearing, whichever one's knocking, get those all replaced, and get this thing back together. I did find another car. It's the exact same car as this, same color, everything. The hood flew up. It hit the windshield, busted it, and the roof, it's all dented. It's got that VR6 in it. He wants $700 or $750 for the car. I thought about buying that, pulling the motor out of that, putting it in this with new chains, calling it good, and then we have this motor in that other car. Maybe we could sell it for something, who knows. It is a rare-ish car. I mean, it's the GLX 2-door VR6 Golf, so this thing is pretty sweet. But that's where we're at. A little garage update, just working away and trying to get things done. It's about 8 o'clock p.m. just getting home from the shop, and here we go again. Still going. This one, the block is still being machined in Chicago. This one here, we're running fuel lines. Hopefully get this thing started. And he's shipping your ECU tomorrow?
Yeah.
Nice. Look at that frickin' turbo.
Still a ton of
Billet
stuff I need to do though.
So yeah, we've all got a lot we got to do. We got to put this engine together, put it back in the car, get this one together, get the GT86 together. Maddox is driving right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Subi's down, so he's rocking the Mazda.
I still haven't gotten alignment on my Silverado. It ate
Nope.
those 14 wides in like a day.
Yeah, he's got 14 wide 22s on his truck, but needs an alignment. And a torque converter from burnouts. You drive them hard, they break. I don't care how good you build them. Like Ken Block in his videos, those cars cost 150 grand to drive them like that, and then they still rebuild them every month. It's inevitable. That's why we like doing this. We hate it, but we like it.